Welcome to the Manage Protect training video series. My name is Sean. Manage Protect is an Australian business committed to making email and the internet a secure, safe, compliant and productive environment for businesses. We will start in the management section of MPmail. This is where you can provision new services, add users, set up LDAP, make changes to the inbound and outbound IPs, as well as manage the spam report. To create a new service, make sure you have selected your partner name at the top on the left. Then click the little blue person. This will open a new window. Enter the primary domain. The email address can be any email address that you want, as long as you have access to it. We won't send the login information to this. We won't tick the box, mainly because this will not give you the correct MX records. Please use our knowledge base for them. If you would like the end user to be able to log in as the primary domain and manage things themselves, you can set a password here and make them activated. Activated here just means that they can log in. Activate email filtering, always select premium filtering, and then the number of users. The number of users here is the number of live bodies at the client site, not the number of email addresses. If you need to change this in the future, please view our Converge video, and that will show you how to change it through Converge. The IP/host name will be your Exchange server, so please just enter either the IP or the host name for it. You can have multiple addresses here. If you would like to change the port that you deliver on, use a colon and then the port number. If you would like to set the preference because you have multiple addresses, that's done by a hash and then the lower number. To split the addresses, just put a semicolon and then type the next address. The outgoing relay is if you want to use our smart host. You can have up to 15 addresses in here. You can have network addresses. They are broken up with a comma. If you're using Google Apps or Office 365, please just use 1.1.1.1 in here. Once you have entered this, it can take up to an hour for it to go through. Once you've filled these out, just click Save and it will create the customer for you. To show the customer, it won't appear immediately. Just click on your partner name again and it will show up. To go into the customer, just click on it on the left. If later on you want to set them so they can log in as this client, you can just set a password and set them to activated, then click Save. It is better to use rights management here, as you can set exactly what they're going to be able to see. So we'll create a new role. Okay, we've created the new role. Here we can now choose what we want to show and what we don't. In this case, we're going to turn off all of management. Once you've done that, click Save and then go to Advanced Settings. In here, type the email address of the person you would like to give the rights management to. So this is going to be the end user. Select the domain and then the role. Hit the plus, hit Save. Then the next time they log in, they will have a drop down like this in the top right where they can change the role. Restrictions, if you want to lock down to a particular IP, access to this portal, you can do that in here. You can also set password restrictions. We don't have any on at the moment, but you can choose the complexity that you would like. Under settings, you have deliver to support. This gives you the ability to release a message to an address you specify before releasing it to the end user. So just go store address, type the email address that you want, and click save. In the workspace, you'll then be able to release any messages to that support address, view them, have a play, figure out what's wrong, or if it is spam or not, and then send it on to the end user. If you would like to add any alias domains, it's done under here under domains. So just type the domain, click add, click save. You can also just use an import, and that's just each domain on an individual line. You can manually create users here by just typing the username, so just their email address, and then giving them a password and clicking add, and then click save. If they're this pink purpley color, it just means they can log in, they have a password and they're activated. If they are grey, it means they'll still get their spam report and everything normally, just means they can't log into the portal. You can make them activated just by going to user settings, and you can see we didn't click save before, so it won't actually add the user. Once we click save, we go to user settings, we can then select them from the drop down and then just make sure that status is activated. If you want to stop them logging in the future, just change that to deactivated. They'll still get their spam report. You can also import a list of users by typing the email address and then using a semicolon if they have any aliases, and then just click enter just to put it on a new line and add more users. Once you've filled this out, just click import. And it'll list everything for you, and then it shows that it's added an alias as well. So we'll click OK, just click save. Groups. Groups are used in 3 places, which we'll cover when we get to the email tab. You can just create a new group, click save, add and save, and then go to group settings, select it from the drop down, and then you can add any members you would like. Groups do not come across in LDAP. Email here, this is the same as when you had when you were setting up the customer. If you change the IP/host name here, it will take an hour to go through. Please keep that in mind. If after an hour, give it an hour and 15 minutes, it hasn't changed to deliver to the new server, just contact support@manageprotect.com. Relay check, this will check every email as it comes in. If it's being delivered to a valid address, it can do it via SMTP, LDAP, or control panel. If it is control panel, they must be a user out of the top. Deactivated will just let your server deal with it. We would recommend deactivated if you were using silent discard. Email spam handling, so you've got store and quarantine and tag. Tag gives you the ability to put a phrase in front of the subject line, so you could do something like this, or if you don't want to put anything in front of the subject line, just put a blank space. MPmail filter, we turn off by default. This is used for newsletters or things like that. It can be a bit sensitive, so we recommend turning it off and then turning it on for individual users if you need to in the future. We'll jump across to the continuity service. So this is your MPmail Ultimate Access side of things. When setting it up, just make sure you've selected all users and not selected users. This opens up a webmail. when we can't connect to your software, that your server, that the end users can then go and view in there. It also keeps the last 3 months of email, so think of it as a rolling archive when you're up and working fine. Spam report. So when you turn on the spam report, you can choose to select what shows on the spam report for the end users. So if you don't want to show virus or content, you can do that. You can whitelist for spam and info mail. If you want to get past the virus and content filters, you must use the compliance filter, which we'll cover in a bit. You can decide if you want them to be able to deliver those messages, but you might want to leave this off for virus and content. You've got an accumulative report here. So the accumulative report gives you the ability to deliver all the spam reports to a singular email address, and this can be external. If you turn this on, only that address in that box will get a spam report. You can choose an email template. This is for when you request that we brand your spam report templates for us. If you want us to do that, just contact support@manageprotect.com. You can have it per user, per client, or an overall one. You've got times here, so you can set every hour. Just keep in mind, if you do set every hour, if something appears on the 9 AM report, it won't appear on the 10 AM report. We'll jump over to the content filter. This is the first place you can use groups. By default, we have it set to 20 meg attachments, which covers the majority of Exchange servers out there. You've got cut the attachment and inform the receiver, or block email. Block email meaning quarantine, not deny. If you would like to have separate policies per group, just select it and then apply and hit the plus. You can have different policies there. You can forbid encrypted attachments if you would like. If you want to add any attachments, just do it here. So we are blocking .macro, .executables, and .xls macros. This is for some crypto locker variants. To add an extension, just type it in there and then click add and click save. If you want to remove one, just hit the X, click save. Compliance filter. So this is how you get past the virus and content filters. So you can select incoming or outgoing. You can select any combination from the left. So here, what we'll do is we'll do anything from Sean@manageprotect.com with the attachment type of .docm or .xlsm. So it's looking for Excel and doc files with macros in it because we trust this person. So you just want to have this information in here. You can use regex, and there are some examples in our knowledge base at support.manageprotect.com. Once you close the bracket, choose what you want to do with it. We want to tag this as clean, and okay. We can also do things on the email header and email body. Once you click OK and hit save, it will give it an ID over on the right, which you can see in the workspace when that is triggered. Keep in mind, if you have multiple rules here with similar information in them, whichever rule triggers first, that will happen. You have encryption here. If you would like to do encryption, please reach out to your account manager. They'll be able to assist. But there are some certificates you can force SMIME or PGP or TLS with particular clients. Mail footer. This isn't a signature, but it is the next place you can use groups. This is more your this has been scanned by blah blah blah, by your own partner name, mail filtering. You can use HTML here if you want to. Advanced routing, this gives you the ability to split delivery of a domain based on users or groups to a different server. So if you had people on-prem servers in each state, you could have it broken up into state groups and then deliver those ones to each server. If you need to split delivery, reach out to our support and we'll be able to assist here. LDAP. LDAP is how you can get your users in and set it so they are using their credentials. So you just want to select down the bottom that they can use their credentials, and then the second tab gives you the ability to pull the users across. So here you can either use a user, you can use the container or the OU address. Password is the password of the account you're using. Just make sure it's in the same OU as all the other users. And then your server port and the IPs you need to allow through your firewall are the same as the standard MPmail ones. Blacklist and whitelist, select the customer from the drop down. Then you can add to the user level whitelist, the user level blacklist, customer whitelist, and customer blacklist. In here has to be an email address or a domain, not @ domain, just the straight domain, as you can see here. If you do want to add an IP address, use the import whitelist down the bottom and you'll be able to do that there, and it will work. It will allow you to enter anything you want in here, so just be sure that it's correct. So you've got import whitelist down the bottom. You can just type addresses on a new line and then just click import and you'll be good to go. So you've got your user level whitelist and blacklist, then you've got your customer whitelist and blacklist, which applies to all users. Now just keep in mind the way this works is the furthest address to the left is the one that will trigger of these tabs. Workspace, this is where you'll spend a lot of your time. Once again, select the customer from the drop down. And then it will display all the email. You want to select the month, generally, just because it makes your life easier. What's the month? So here, each of these boxes are wildcardable. So you can do star part of the subject line, star part of the email address. In here. I generally try to work on the subject line or the to, just because the from address might not be what you're thinking. And then we can see here. So you have the display filter and you have a preview over here. Preview will show you what server it was delivered to. If it's a clean message, you'll only see the server it was delivered to. Just select the month so we can find some spam. Display filter you can use to lock it down to a particular category, so we can show spam here. And then if we hit preview, SMTP won't have anything because it hasn't been delivered, but text will show you the headers of the message here. So we can see the spam probability and some other information in there. To deliver a message, just tick it, go deliver, perform action, and it will deliver it to the end user. Please don't click it 5 times because it will deliver it 5 times. You can blacklist it for the entire domain, you can whitelist it for the entire domain, you can also whitelist and deliver just for that particular user. Now the display filter, if you have it on adopted, it will show you everything here but rejected. Rejected is just the outer boundary rejections, and these only last for 7 days. The reason we don't put them under adopted is because of that retention period, as well as the fact that if you got spam flooded, this could be thousands of entries and would just be a mess to view. So under adopted here, You can see every user as well as what the message was tagged as. You've got a reason column. So reason column will show you SPF, if it's a compliance filter and the ID that it triggered. If it's got dash whitelist, it's on someone's whitelist. The status, you've got 3 different statuses: deferred, delivered, rejected. So deferred means it's a 4XX code that your server's passed back to us, so insufficient system resources. Rejected is a 5XX code and your server has rejected us, so unknown user or domain, something like that. So just keep in mind, rejected in display filter is us, rejected in status is you. If you want to report a clean message, just tick it, report spam, perform action. You've also got your outgoing email here as well that you can check out. If you're using the Ultimate Access product, the email archive is where you will see the last 3 months of messages. Just tick it to re-deliver it and then click deliver. Please don't click email private, it will wipe the headers of the message. Wipe the message, not the headers. It will just leave the headers. Auditing shows you everything that's happened under your account. So this is where rights management comes in handy. If they switch into that admin role, it will still tag it as their user. If you see ASE admin, that means they've whitelisted from their spam report. Statistics, once again, select the domain from the drop down, and we'll just choose 2 days ago. And this will just show you some basic statistics of how much spam, how much info mail, how much rejected has happened. It will break it down into a pie chart. It will also break it down by hours. And down bottom left, you can see what's happened over the month. You can export this as CSV or PDF. You can show outgoing as well. You can break it down by domain or user. At the moment, these aren't schedulable. You can view more videos and articles at our knowledge base, support.manageprotect.com. You can also contact us via phone, chat, or email. We look forward to working with you and your team. Thank you for watching this Manage Protect product training video.